Okay, so this week we've entered November and it's the second half of the autumn term. It's a lot darker outside, but there are some important dates in November, and I'm going to talk to you today about one of the most important, and that is about Remembrance Day. So we're going to share a PowerPoint together so we can remind ourselves or learn for the first time about the key points of Remembrance Day. So Remembrance Day is held on the 11th of November. The 11th of November is next week. The 11th day of the 11th month of the year. A 2-minute silence is always held at 11 AM to remember the millions who have died at war. So on the 11th of November in school at 11 AM we will hold our 2-minute silence. But we also have Remembrance Sunday, and that is the Sunday that's closest to the 11th. So that is this Sunday coming up, where we have a silence, and there are usually parades. There probably won't be this year, but there will be remembrance services and things on television to commemorate Remembrance Sunday. So Remembrance Day was first held in 1919, which was 1 year after the First World War ended. It is sometimes known as Armistice Day, that's another name for it. So the very first time was the first year after the war had ended in 1919. On Remembrance Day, people will lay wreaths of poppies on statues and monuments to remember all of the soldiers who died for us. So the reason that we hold the 2-minute silence is to think about all of those soldiers that have died in wars to help protect us. And you may see monuments like this, perhaps in the town or village or area that you live in. They usually have one of these, usually close to the church, and that is where wreaths of poppies are usually laid on there to remember. And this is where people usually congregate around on the Sunday, Remembrance Sunday, to remember those people. So I just mentioned poppy wreaths, and poppies are the flowers. I've got mine on today on my dress, a tiny one there. Poppies are worn on Remembrance Day because they are the flowers which grew on the battlefields after the First World War ended. So those fields where lots of soldiers had unfortunately died and fought to help defend their country, after the war ended, poppies grew in those fields, and they're very beautiful flowers as well, aren't they? So that's why poppies are the symbol of Remembrance Day. So we use Remembrance Day to remember all of those who fought for their country, those who died, and those who came home. So those who might have been injured or traumatised by what they've seen at war, and they came home, and they did that to protect our country. An organisation called the Royal British Legion run the Poppy Appeal every year to raise money for men and women who have served or are now serving in the armed forces. They raise money by selling small poppies. So if you buy a poppy this year, your money is going towards the Royal British Legion, and that is to support people who have been in the armed forces before or are still now. So it goes to a very good cause. Okay, so we're going to finish off with this picture of poppies, and I'm going to say a prayer. So if you would like to join in the prayer, you can put your hands together and say amen at the end, and we'll say, Dear God, at this special time of year, let us remember and give thanks to all of those people who have fought and lost their lives or injured themselves to help defend and keep us safe. Amen. Right, a task for you to do this week. I'm going to send your teachers a link to a poppy wreath that you can create as a class. So I'd like every class to do one, and every child to write their name on one of the poppies around the wreath, and then we're going to put those wreaths in the school reception area so that any visitors into school can see them coming in, and I might put some facing out at the door so that people can see them as they're arriving at school as well and leaving school. Okay, so have a good week everyone, and remember the importance of Remembrance Day on the 11th. Bye.